I think PPI is incredibly important, both for people with dementia and for the research we undertake. There's an authenticity about it. It helps us to plan, to prioritize. I think it helps us to decide how can we undertake research that's really relevant to people's lives. Dementia is an umbrella term used to describe a collection of symptoms associated with cognitive impairment. Dementia causes changes in thinking, memory, personality, and behaviour, and symptoms vary depending on the type of dementia a person has. Dementia is not a normal part of the aging process and can affect people as young as in their 40s and 50s. It is estimated that there are currently 64,000 people living with some form of dementia in Ireland. This figure is projected to rise to 150,000 by 2045. For every one person living with dementia, 3 others support the person and provide some form of care.
I think dementia research, there's an awful emphasis on people over the age of 65. I think we need to get away from that narrative that it's only people over the age of 65. It's not. It's people 20 and 30 years younger.
If we can get help for the person with dementia, that is also help for the carer, and help for the carer is help for the person with dementia.
People have realised the value that we have. And when I say value, it's the value of the lived experience. Being front and central for us. It makes us feel wanted, it makes us feel useful, it makes us feel important. And whereas it may not benefit me, it will benefit a lot of people, hopefully. But we are the people that have the dementia. We're the experts. And if you want to find out about anything, talk to the experts. I'm not an expert in many things in my life, but when it comes to having the rewire dementia, yeah, I know what it's like.
We can totally see, and I can totally see, how the lived experience being involved is helping others. It is getting easier to use PPI in the structure of research, and I feel there is now a carrot, and the carrot is huge, because if the PPI isn't used in the application, if the plain and simple language paragraph is not in that application, because sometimes we review PPI, we have reviewers, we review applications. Therefore, it is imperative for the researcher to put in a paragraph with simple and plain language so that the likes of us can read it, understand what is the research about, and therefore I think going forward I can see very much research going forward in dementia anyway without PPI intervention. The researchers that I have worked with so far, they were all easy to work with. It started with a phone call, then we set up Zoom calls. Of course, these Zoom calls are wonderful. Therefore it didn't matter where in Europe we were doing the research with, but they were all easy. It's just for the researcher to be totally natural, just feel that this is my granny I'm talking to, this is my auntie I'm talking to. There's no big deal anywhere. There's no right or wrong question, no right or wrong answer. And it's easy. There's nothing complicated about bringing a PPI contributor or a collaborator on board. There's nothing complicated. It's a win-win. Us as PPI contributors win at every corner, because it's a beautiful involvement of feeling useful. Feeling useful for the person that has dementia. In Kevin's case, he feels useful. He can get up, get dressed, go out to his office shed and get on a Zoom meeting. And that's a useful 1 hour or 2 hours involvement. And it lifts his spirits. And for me, as the spousal carer, lifting his spirits is lifting my spirits. The wonderful thing about joining any PPI project and being a collaborator, contributor, is that we need no experience. We already have the experience. So as a spousal carer, I am the expert as a spousal carer in my position. I am the expert.
I'm getting away more back from it than I'm ever giving out. And I think it's the case for everyone who has dementia that's involved in research, you feel good about yourself when you're talking about it. You realize that the research you're doing, it may be brand new, but it may not be brand new. It may be taken up from a piece of research that has previously been started and came to a stop because they didn't know why, and now they've got the next step. So then you're standing on the shoulders of giants, and you're taking it to the next level again. And to be part of that step up along in any kind of research is phenomenal. Thanks be to God. We're valued members of our society, we're valued members of our community, but we're valued members of the research teams. And that is so important to us, and we're so proud of that.
PPI gives us the vision as researchers to really know what is needed from a research perspective. So it's really good to sit down with patients, families, carers, and unpack what are the real questions for the research project.
I've been involved in the My Support study since its before its initiation, actually. It was a partnership with the staff. It was really a great experience and really is something that helps families be involved in the care that is provided to your family member.
There's one project that springs to mind is the My Support project, which is the family care decision support tool, which we implemented in Ireland and also across 6 other countries. And a key moment for me on that project with our patient and public representation was there was a meeting, a consortium meeting, where our public and patient partners were in the meeting with us, and we were at a point of inertia. We were just stuck. The research was difficult, at a difficult point. We were at a crossroads, and we were trying to troubleshoot how we move forward. And it was the PPI members, it was the family carers of people with dementia reminded us about how valuable this research was. The collaboration with patient and public involvement, or family carers in this case, through the My Support study, really has grown over years. It has taken building blocks and developing relationships with people, both carers and people with dementia, as well as our university partners and other academics and researchers.
All you're doing in PPI is you're telling your story as honestly and as truthful as you can. You have the carer, you have the researcher, you have the person with the lived experience. We're a team working together for a common good to make the lives of those who have this disease better.
If you're thinking of doing a research project around dementia, when you're thinking of ideas and you're discussing it with your professors and you're discussing it with your college, that's the time to get on a Zoom call with PPI people and say, I have an idea for such a thing. What do you think? It can be a very effective relationship with the researcher and the PPI contributor if there's a reciprocal agreement between the two of them. They both respect each other, and that deep respect shows an acknowledgement that the researcher respects the person with the lived experience and respects their answers and understands this is their reality. There is a great support in Ireland for PPI and dementia research because we have the Dementia Research Advisory Team, which is supported by the Alzheimer's Society of Ireland. And we started in 2019, and Kevin and I have been there since its inception.
If you're going to involve us the whole way and just say, look, this section of it that we're going to be working over the next 2 months is very scientific. I don't know whether you'd be interested in it or not. I will tell you whether I'm interested or not. I might say I'm interested, and another person might say they're not. We might spot something, and we have on a few occasions. It's like everything in life, a good relationship from the very start is paramount. Absolutely paramount. I don't have to know your family history, but just a good, cordial friendship, cup of coffee, and just get to know some little bit about the person.
The researcher that has a good rapport can go into much more depth in research.
The PPI collaborations in which I've been involved have come about through a variety of channels, really. Sometimes they happen organically. I work as a clinician. I work with people with dementia and their family carers and family members. Sometimes it happens through formal channels, for instance, through the Dementia Research Advisory Team of the Alzheimer's Society of Ireland. But increasingly, it's also through other informal channels, attending workshops, seminars, social media, in fact. So I think it's through a variety of fora and channels. And I think there's increasing opportunity for us to engage with our PPI colleagues and collaborators through all of those channels.
So there's a lot of projects on the go in University College Cork. We are always looking for people to come on board, carers, families with dementia, people with dementia, to help us unpack some of our research questions.
Looking at PPI 5 years from now, I'm actually very positive and very hopeful that it will have been embedded in every piece of research, for every condition. And that's where the win-win will come out, because it will certainly make for better research. Even in lab work, it will make for better research, because then the researcher can ask the right questions. And it's only when you ask the right questions will you get the answer that will move the piece of research forward. It will be a healthier place with more PPI, because they will see the full array of how a person deals with the condition, how the family carers deals with the condition, and it's a winning combination.
If you're interested in getting involved in dementia research, there are a lot of ways in which you can become involved. Thankfully, in Ireland, there is a growing list of initiatives where people can take part in shaping dementia research as well as receiving support.